Louisiana Free Patriot coming at you once again. I was messing around on Facebook and chatting in this group and that group, and this one guy reached out to me, you know, claiming to be 3%. Then he tells me he's not actually 3%. Okay. You came out the gate and told me straight out, no problem. Then I asked him, what does he think a militia is? His answer perplexed me a little bit, so I told him to go read the Constitution and then read the Dick Act, so he would have a base understanding of what a militia is supposed to be. His answer to me when I asked him what a militia is was a civilian army to step in and take control when the government won't. That's not what a militia is. That's actually what a militant group or a militant paramilitary organization does. So I pulled up a few definitions, militant, combative and aggressive in support of a political or social cause, and typically favoring extreme violent or confrontational methods. A civilian army to step in and take control when the government won't. Militant force. Definition of a militia: a military force that is raised from the civilian population to supplement a regular army in an emergency. Also, all able-bodied civilians eligible by law for military service. And then sometime recently, they've added a new section which goes in and fits with the definition of militant. See, they're mixing things here in this wonderful Wikipedia time where people can change and add things. They added a military force that engages in rebel or terrorist activities in opposition to a regular army. That is a militant group, not a militia. But they did have the origination of militia. And it states, a militia is generally an army or some other fighting organization of non-professional soldiers, citizens of a country or subject of a state, who may perform military service during in a time of need, as opposed to a professional force of regular full-time military, professional, or to members of a warrior nobility class. Generally unable to hold ground against regular forces, militias commonly support regular troops by skirmishing, holding fortifications, or conducting irregular warfare instead of undertaking offensive campaigns by themselves. Local civilian law often limits militias to serve only in their home region and to serve only for a limited time, thus further reduces their use in long military campaigns. That is the truth on militia. The militia is spelled out in the Constitution. Congress can call upon the militia. President leads, but Congress calls upon. And in the state side, on the states, your governor can call upon you and activate you. And you fall under, as a militia, a true militia, you fall under the Military Code of Justice. So we're not anti-government. We're governed by the government. So we go out in my area, do hurricane rescue, flood rescue, removing debris out of roads, down trees, anything safely that we can get into to assist and help anybody that needs the help, provide security protection when needed. That's what a militia does. We are the little brothers and sisters of the National Guard. We're actually supposed to train with the National Guard, but most states don't recognize a militia, so thus they violate the Dick Act and they don't keep us trained. So we train ourselves, pay everything out of our own pockets. A lot of people don't realize, I'm sure a few of you heard of that Cajun Navy. They are a naval militia. That's what they are. We are the citizens that are the backup to protect our homes and our neighborhoods and our states. We don't go looking for trouble. But when it comes to us, we face it head on. We don't run from danger. We move into it to take those innocent people out of it. And we don't get paid. We're not professional this or professional that. Even though I'm in the process of trying to get together a unit to where we can get FEMA certification training so that we can go in and do all these different types of rescues and assist local law enforcement, EMS, Homeland Security, and assist in natural disasters and do things that they won't allow civilians to do. But we'll be properly trained, so we'll be able to do those jobs to better help our communities, to build the relationship with our local law enforcement and our government agencies, to redefine, to put what the true meaning of a militia is back to where it's supposed to be, and not what the media has twisted and changed. I mean, just 4 or 5 years ago, you didn't hear about militia forces in Iraq and overseas doing this. It were militant groups. Then, when our militias started gaining popularity, the militias here in the U.S., and started getting notoriety, they started calling those groups over there, instead of calling them militant groups, they started calling them militia groups, which is a lie, a falsehood. A true militia organization is not terrorist. We do not go out and seek to harm anyone. We do not seek to impose our thoughts and feelings on those around us. 99% of militia members, you never know they're militia. Because they are hidden. They stay quiet, behind the scenes. Then you've got those that step forward and are neo-Nazis and freaking anti-government, anti-police, anti-this, anti-that. We hate this, we hate that. That's not a militia. That's a militant force. If you're going out trying to antagonize people for a reaction, you go out looking for trouble, you're not a militia. No matter what you say and what you think. And you don't like what I think on that, it's fine, it's your opinion. But if you research by the Constitution and the Dick Act, and your own state laws and regulations. That's why people like that are the reason why states have no militia, no paramilitary group laws. Because of the idiots who go out and train to do harm. They are a problem. They are the extreme. An extreme on either side is too deadly. Extreme left, extreme right, hate. It's not how you build this nation. It's not how you strengthen this nation. You don't really do it with compromise either, unless both sides are willing to give. But there are some things that we cannot compromise on one bit, not one iota. And that's our Bill of Rights. They are absolutes by definition. By the way they're worded, they are absolutes. And every law that the government puts in place against the Bill of Rights are primary, base, God-given rights are a violation of the Constitution of the United States. And we as militia will use every legal means possible to fight that corruption, to fight those things. We will rally. We will not really protest. We don't really protest. We rally. We get people and push politicians in our local and state governments and our federal governments. We try to find the best that represent and are willing to stand and not be corrupted by the government, that are going to stand in there and do their job. That's what militia does. And when all else fails, and if the government turns on the people, then by the Constitution and by the Declaration of Independence, we'll make that stand. But that is the absolute last resort. But we're training and being ready for it. But also with the government we have in place, our enemies seeing us grow weaker and weaker politically, economically, watching the COVID destroy us on the inside, from the inside. People not wanting to work. They're waiting for us to just roll over into a socialist system, and then they can almost just walk through the door. But the one thing stopping them from doing that, the absolute one thing stopping them from doing that, is they know we are the most heavily armed civilian population in the world. They wouldn't be fighting just the U.S. military. They'd be fighting guerrilla-style warfare against us. People that know our terrain, know the best spots to go, know the humidity for long shots, the windage. We know this because we do it for fun. We go out and train and push ourselves to the limits. Learn new skills, how to survive off grid, how to survive if everything just shut down and work together as a unit for the security of our areas. We're not the enemy. Those militant paramilitary organizations that claim to be militia, they are not the enemy, but are a enemy to a true militia. Because everything they do out in public, these stupid acts of violence, they give us a black eye. They hurt us. They set what we're working for back. Well, that's just a few thoughts. Well, it's Louisiana Free Patriot. God bless y'all. God bless America. And y'all have a wonderful evening.